Hey, good evening, Teach Better family. It's Brad Hughes in the Sunday weekly warm up space with a very special guest, the incomparable Mickey Smith Jr., Grammy Award winning educator, presenter, consultant, and inspirer. Joining us in the Sunday weekly warm up space tonight. We're going to get to know Mickey right after this. So glad you're with us and stay tuned. Hey, good evening, Teach Better family. It's Brad Hughes from the Teach Better team joining you tonight live in the Sunday weekly warm up space. This is our opportunity each and every Sunday to get together live for conversation, connection, reassurance, and getting us ready for an exciting week, whatever our important role in education might be. Maybe you're joining us live in the comments like Brian. Good evening, Brian. And like Julie. Good evening, Julie. If you are with us, we'd love to know where you're joining us from. Who are you? Where are you? What you're up to tonight? And what are you looking forward to most about your week ahead in education? And what are you looking forward to learn with and from our incredible guest, Mickey Smith Jr.? Please remember to grant StreamYard permission to see your comments and your name. We'd love to put faces to names as much as we can tonight. And I'm really excited to introduce our guest tonight here in the private Facebook group. It's Mickey Smith Jr. Good evening, Mickey.
Good evening, good day, good to be here today with you, Brad, man. Thanks so much for the opportunity. And, before we get started, thank you for being you, because a lot of times we don't realize how far reaching our life and our experiences are. And I'm telling you, man, you bring sunshine to so many folks across this globe, including myself. So it's an honor to be able to finally connect with you in this space.
It's an honor to reconnect with you. And I've shared both live and behind the scenes how incredible the opportunity to hear you speak at our keynote, Teach Better 22 in Akron, Ohio. I had the opportunity to speak with you afterwards. You gave me a big hug. You gave me those words of encouragement and praise. And I want to reflect my encouragement and praise back to you, because you light up every space that you're in, Mickey. And I know that you've got your influence and your energy in so many different spaces. So for those of you, for those of our viewers that haven't yet met you, let us know who you are, what you're all about, where you're coming from. Like, what is the incredible story of Mickey Smith Jr.?
Well, it's a beautiful, ordinary story in the sense that, I didn't really come from privilege. I didn't come from an amazing metropolitan center. I honestly came from a forgotten community, a little town that doesn't exist anymore in deep South Louisiana called Mossville. And if you Google Mossville, you could see it, but if you try to see it in person, it doesn't exist anymore, because actually the town I'm from, they bulldozed the entire town and they built a chemical plant on top of it. So I call it the forgotten community. And I say that because for so much of my life, I grew up not really knowing what my value was, growing up in that type of place. So that I always start with that, because to understand me is understanding where I came from. Family, education. I'm the first in my family to go to college, first in my family, obviously, to become a teacher. And for me, teaching has been not just a job or a vocation, but it's a calling. Like so many people that are on this call today. I mean, if you're here on a Sunday, I think we kind of cut from the same cloth. I think anybody that's in the room, you got that tug on your heart. You got that calling. And that's what I do. And I'm like so many other teachers for many, many years. I worked. And for so much of that, didn't really know where it was going. And I actually stepped away from teaching, and I attempted to, but the calling was too strong. And it called me back. And there was always great people in my life that reminded me of the value that I have and the value that I bring to young lives. And very blessed and fortunate a few years ago to be named the Grammy Music Educator Award recipient. And with that opportunity came multiple opportunities for me to share encouragement, not just in my classroom, but with so many other folks that are doing great things across this globe. And that's our teachers, the folks that make all professions. And that's pretty much who I am. I'm a guy from a little town that's just trying to make a big impact on the people that make the greatest impact on our world, and that's educators. So we salute you today.
Mickey, I would love to jump in and talk with you about your passion for arts education and what kind of a difference growing up as a student in the arts, experiencing music, how did you leverage any experiences as a youth into your passion for teaching, educating, and inspiring, not only with music, but through music and performance?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, to really explain that, I have to make a confession. I don't teach music. I teach children.
Oh,
I teach children. I'm sorry, Brad. I should have warned you. Hey, this is live TV, y'all.
love it.
But I say it that way because for so many of us, it's so important. It's so important. Before I answer that question, we all have to recognize that what we do is so much bigger than the subject matter. It's showing those students that they matter, but your subject matter is that vehicle, and it serves a powerful role. So for me, the end game has always been the children. That's always what it's been. So how was I able to leverage that? It really came down to recognizing what my superpower is. I'm gonna be honest, my gift is music. So in order to, I think in order to really touch people's minds, you got to reach their heart first. And oftentimes we can reach people's hearts with the gift that we've all been given. Everybody's got a gift. Your gift may be in your curriculum. Your gift may be a smile. Your gift may be your demeanor. Your gift may be your energy. But whatever your gift is, that's the key that unlocks the door. So for me, to answer your question, I believe music and the arts, whether it's dance, music, visual arts, drama, I believe that there's core curriculum. Go core curriculum. My wife's an English teacher. Go core, right? But I also believe there's also encore. I believe that there's that thing that makes kids want to come back and do it again. Because honestly, for some kids, maybe the encore was the only reason they came to school, right? But the beautiful thing is this: growing up in Louisiana, we have a lot of hurricanes, right? We've had hurricanes traditionally. So if you go to Louisiana, there's a lot of brick homes. I'm saying that because I believe that the core curriculum is the brick, but I believe that the encore is the mortar, right? So when you have brick and mortar, there's a strength, and there's a reason they build brick homes down there, because you need something that's going to withstand the wind, withstand the rain, withstand the storm. So for me, just being able to take that universal language of music, that thing that already has a propensity to connect with folks, regardless of demographic, ethnicity, nationality, music speaks in ways the words can't. I'm able to find, not only am I able to connect with them, but I'm able to give them something that provides them a compelling future. Because with them, they want the promise of what that music or that song can be in their hands. And the crazy thing is, Brad, they end up working harder sometimes in the music class than they would any place else. And it makes a powerful, powerful example that I share with all educators of how you can package the rigor in a place of relevance. And that's really what music does. I just use it to show them the world in a way that they didn't see before.
Mickey, for those that are joining us tonight and you're talking about your superpower, what I would love to see in our comments if you're joining us live is, what do you consider to be your superpower?
Yeah.
Teach Better Family. Jump in the comments and let us know what your superpower is. Maybe it's the gift of humor or the gift of compassion. Maybe it's a gift for math or a passion for science or the visual arts, or maybe you see in another educator a superpower that they haven't seen yet. Let us know in the comments what your superpower is, or a superpower that you admire or that you aspire to demonstrate in your work as an educator, no matter what your role might be. Mickey, as a keynote speaker and as an inspirer, you bring the message of just keep on going. And I remember from your keynote, when I saw and met you for the first time in Akron, your message to educators was keep on going through thick and thin, and not only to keep on going, but to leverage our setbacks and leverage the things that we wish never happened to us into strength and experience. Is there a connection between your upbringing in Louisiana, where there wasn't a lot of opportunities, to that message of keep on going, and how do you leverage that today?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I believe we teach the way we were taught, and we live the way that we were brought up. And there's so many things that we can pull from in the classroom. I believe some lessons are taught, some are caught. And in my case, much of what I do, whether it's on the stage or whether it's in the classroom, it's just a result of those lessons that I just expressed to you. But I'll say this, I think a lot of times, and I don't say this to be insensitive to the plight that individuals are going through. But the truth of the matter is, I've accepted a long time ago that bad things are going to happen.
Mhm.
And I shared that with a group of folks a few weeks ago, and somebody said, Mickey, you're supposed to be like the motivator. That's not very positive. So I turned back to him and I said, let me clarify. You're right. That was not positive. And I'll say it again. It wasn't positive. Let me rephrase it. I'm positive bad things are going to happen to everybody. And I say that for a reason, because sometimes it's just a matter of being honest. And once we realize that this thing called life is going to give resistance, then I understand now that problems are meant to be recognized, but not committed to. The way to keep on going is to commit to the solution. I'm not here to tell anybody today that you should just persevere in a place of just rose-colored glasses. But what I'm saying today is choose you this day what you see. When I say see the sound, because I say that a lot of times too, as well as keep on going. What I'm saying is see the significance. The sound is the significance. The sound is that thing that resonates with people before we open our mouths. The sound is what people feel when they're in our presence. The sound is what you remember when you think about your favorite teacher and the way you felt in their presence and the significance you felt. This is what we bring to a classroom when we do it at its best. Nobody's looking for perfect teachers out there. So when I say keep on going, make sure I don't want it to be like a toxic thing where like you just go. No, what I'm saying is don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on you. Don't give up on the calling that you've been called to do because there's some resistance. Because what I learned playing the saxophone is even when I blow into the horn, the ability for me to make tones and make sounds that really connect with people is a result of the resistance when I blow into the horn. If there's no resistance, then there's actually no sound. It's crazy like that. Life is the same way. When we have the resistance, that's what reveals the significance. So today I'm telling you, look again for the first time. Look again for the first time, because sometimes you look at a situation and if our focus is not right, we can be so busy looking that we're not seeing. There's more to this thing than what meets the eye. The significance is all around us. Asking ourselves, how can I turn this powerful problem into a powerful, purpose-driven solution?
Mickey, it's at this time of the year when the school year is beginning. There's lots of positive energy. There's lots of hope in our schools and in our classrooms and in our faculties for what the potential of the school year could bring. I'm wondering what you're hearing from educators about what that means in our post-pandemic life. What are you hearing from educators that they need or that they're struggling with that you think maybe they can just take that next important step with?
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I'm hearing mixed. I'm hearing mixed signals. I'm hearing some people that say, wow, it's beginning to look, I was about to say it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, but that's not it. It's beginning to start feeling like normal again. I'm hearing people saying, I'm feeling like I'm making a turn and I'm shifting into who I can be in this next season. And then I'm hearing some people that are saying, I just wanted to go back and it's not there yet. And there's some despondency. But what I'm here today to tell you is this, it really starts with you and I. And I don't want to be the pie in the sky dude, but I'm telling you today, so much of what is what we see. And I keep saying the word see as opposed to look, because I can be looking. Look, my grandma taught me that a long time ago. Sometimes she sent me in the house to go get the pocketbook, get the purse. But I was so busy playing what I was playing, I'd go in the kitchen and I'd look and I didn't see the pocketbook, Brad. I didn't see the purse.
Yeah.
And like my grandmother, I'd go back and I say, the purse is not there. And she'd say, if I go in that kitchen, if I find that purse, it's going to be me and you, little boy. And my grandmother got up. I'm not going to tell you what happened when she said it was me and you. I just let you know it was a different age back then. It was not positive, right? She'd walk right in that kitchen. And sure enough, she found the purse. And it was that powerful reminder that what we're able to see is a direct result of what we're focused on, what we're expecting. I'm telling somebody today that's under the sound of my voice, I need you to get that spirit of expectancy. It may not look like it looked before, but watch this. It might look better. Because at the end of the day, I've never read a book that didn't have one or two bad chapters in it. Even the best book got a few bad pages. Even the best movie got a little 5-minute spot where you can go get the popcorn and come back. We don't throw away the whole movie. And I'm doing that today to remind somebody, look again, because the truth of the matter is we are in a new season. Everybody embraced this thing called the information age. Well, I say everybody embraced it. Look, Brad, I saw a video a few weeks back where they had Katie Couric and Brian Gumbel. That's old school. Look, some of y'all on the line don't even know what that is. That's the Today Show. That's back in the day. We're talking Willard Scott. We're talking like, Smucker's jelly. Come on. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Somebody know what put in the chat if you know about Smuckers. With a name like Smuckers, it has to be good. This is not a spokesperson. I'm just saying. But I'm telling you, I remember watching that and they laughed. They were laughing. They said, what is this wiggly thing, this @ sign? And the internet, email. They laughed at it. Fast forward, now it's a staple. We couldn't even imagine operating in this thing called life without it. What am I telling you? So many of us have this feeling that we're in the information age, but honestly, the information age is in the past. The truth of the matter is we're in the innovation age. And everybody loves that term until they realize innovation means change. So for those people that are on the fence still, I want you to embrace the change. Embrace the new normal, because what I found is that this new normal of teaching has opened up incredible opportunities for growth and new perspective. I believe that modern day teaching is relationship-based teaching. And now it's even forcing an old dog like myself to learn new tricks. I'm telling you, I have to learn new tricks. I'm having to figure out, how do I reach and not just teach? And I believe that now more than ever, this school year and every school year to come, it's just going to provide more opportunities. And every opportunity is another opportunity for another opportunity. That's how we have to see it in this season, to not be lost in the season.
Mickey, I would love to dive deeper with you into the bricks and mortar that makes relationships the foundational aspect of everything that we do. We'll be back right after this quick break. Stay with us.
Man, don't stop
family, we're back in the Sunday weekly warm-up space with our guest, innovator, educator, speaker, and inspirer, Mr. Mickey Smith Jr. And we're live tonight in our private Facebook group, and we hope that if you're joining us live, you feel welcome to let us know who you are, where you're at, what you're getting from our conversation tonight, what questions are coming up for you, and how Mickey and I can continue to inspire, inform, and maybe even entertain you to get you ready for your important week ahead in education. Mickey, we were talking earlier about the bricks and the mortar of educating and being an educator. And I wanted to pop a comment that we had from educator Brian Arnott on for us. And Brian is identifying that focusing on the relationships at the beginning of the year to guide students towards the engagement we're looking for is key. And in your experience, I'm sure you found that relationships are those protective and restorative factors that really are foundational. They are the mortar and bricks within the mortar and bricks, I guess. And I'm wondering if you can, talk with us a little bit about your feelings about the foundational importance of relationships and how maybe you've seen relationships change the game when the chips are down.
Oh, absolutely. And Brian, he's right on the money. I mean, we serve a what's in it for me generation. And that can sound like a negative. Like, I mean, that sounds pretty derogatory. And generally when that term is used, it's used in that manner. But the truth of the matter is, I feel like that's like the cheat code. I feel like that's open book test. Because if I can actually listen to what matters to them and meet them with what matters, is that any different than any Fortune 500 company? I mean, any business that's trying to make a profit, first thing they're going to do is bend their ear to their customers and figure out, what do the consumers want? But in teaching, sometimes we've been taught that we're to give and not receive. And I believe it's so important in those first days of school to receive the information, to receive it. Look, I'm going to be honest, first 2 weeks of school, I don't even teach music. The children are totally confused. They're like, wait a minute, I signed up for band. And I tell them, no. what we did was before we learn the music, I need to learn you. Do you know you're important? And they're like, whoa, I never had a teacher tell me that before. So I began asking them things. I'm like, what do you want to learn this year? How do you want to do it? Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I know what it takes to get you from point A to point Z. So there's some things that we're going to do. But what I do is I try to tailor make a situation that allows us to get from point A to point Z, but along the way have these milestones that are crafted by the students' wants and desires. And what happens is, as we take that arduous journey called the 180 days, as we go, it's almost like Tour de France. Every so often we're going to stop and I'm going to say, ooh, look what we're doing. Player's choice, student choice. And like, whoa, I did ask for that. Wow, he met my need. And now what's happening is there's a level of trust that's being developed. But when we talk about that house, Brad, I want you to all to get that picture in your head. Like you got the house. Imagine there's a front door, and in that door, there's a long hallway. And each hallway takes you to different rooms, right? So to get in the house, the first door, look, before I even say the door, can I tell you what some folks do? Yeah. And we love them. Look, I was one of them. Sometimes we do crazy things. Like when I was in math, I understood there was a numerator and a denominator, right? And it was very important that you had the right one on top. Sometimes we got folks, they put in the numerator at the denominator and the denominator as the numerator. Sometimes we put in curriculum above kids. Sometimes we're putting instruction before individuals. So what happens is if you lead with the subject matter, something's going to come up short. And oftentimes it's going to be the very people, individuals we were charged with serving. Listen, I need you to understand, if you're at that house, the first door you got to open is trust. See, from trust opens up another door to relationship. Relationship is so important because what we're asking of these kids is their currency. And look, I teach some kids, some of these kids probably got more currency than I got. Okay. They little, what they call it? What you call when the allowance? Look, I don't even know what it's called because I ain't get one. The little allowance, like some of theirs, they overstepping my income. But the vast majority of the children we teach, they're not millionaires or billionaires, but they have currency. It's called their time. Time is money. And when you can get a kid to give up their time, especially if that time is away from a device, you got something special. And what I found is more times than not, the individuals that are able to pry those kids away from their devices, from their own device, are the individuals that have been able to make that withdrawal, but most importantly, the deposit first of trust that opens up the door to relationship. Now watch this. We're still going down the hallway. Mm-hmm. From the door called relationship, you open it up, and then there's something called influence. Now, people get all funny about this, but let's just look. Don't take my word for it. There's this thing called social media. The people that are winning on social media are called what? Come on, somebody. Influencers. Influencers. And it's so crazy. Influencers. Wow. I don't want to quote him, but I'm going to go ahead and quote him. Y'all forgive me. Joseph Stalin had this quote back in the day. he said, actors, musicians, and somebody else, artists, are the engineers over the souls of humans. And he actually meant it in a derogatory sense, but I'm like, wow, we're still seeing that today. Because when you think about celebrity, when you think about people at that high level, they're doing amazing things that only us mere mortals could imagine, you realize that there is a level of engineering over the hearts and minds of individuals. But that's the power of a teacher. A teacher can make kids do things they never thought they could do, the impossible, like math, or science, English, social studies. What the list goes on and on. These are things kids didn't even imagine themselves doing until they met that teacher. So trust opens up the door to relationship. From relationship opens up the door to influence. Kids learn better from people they trust and have relationship with. That's where the influence comes in. And once you become an influencer, then you become an effective educator, or as I say, instruction. But if we try to lead with instruction, nobody likes a know-it-all. And at the end of the day, people don't really care about information. I'll prove it to you. Hold on. I got the evidence right here.
Yep.
If it was just about information, they wouldn't need us. They could Google it. Think about it. I'm not down in teachers because I'm a teacher. I'm just saying if it's just about information, I want you to think about this. Then what use do they have of us? That tells me there's something that AI can't do. It's the human element that we all long for, that connection, that sense of value and significance. Children are naturally people pleasers. And at the end of the day, we're all looking for some level of validation. Even as big kids, we still want to hear, well done. We still want to hear that you belong. We still want to hear, hey, you make me so proud. That's the opportunity teaching gives. It gives a platform for us to pour into the children in a way that leaves them better. I just believe at the end of the day, as I said before, modern day teaching has to be relationship-based teaching.
Mickey, we were talking earlier about innovation and the need to seize opportunities to innovate. And in your hand, you've got an iPhone, and it's connected to the internet. It's connected to a world of information. It's connected to a wealth of opportunity and connection. When we think about innovation, though, I'm wondering if the real innovation that we need to be seeking might not be in technology. It might not be in the palm of our hand, might not be in desktop computers. Maybe the innovation, the act of making new that we need to be striving for is those new opportunities to develop and to nurture the relationships in front of us, the relationships among us, so that we can, know really who, why, and what we value about who we're teaching with. Is it possible that innovation isn't about computers and technology, but it's instead about strengthening the connections between people?
Absolutely. And watch this. I believe sometimes the blessing is in the curse. Sometimes the very thing that we see as resistance is actually propelling us to our next and our best. So when we think about the last few years, it took a toll on individuals. It took a great toll on individuals. But what I find is this: in moments where I'm at my least, I appreciate the best. By that, I mean, there's been seasons where even recently I was pretty ill. I was sick. And when I begin to turn a corner and start feeling better, man, the sun, it's a little brighter. You find yourself not wanting to stay indoors. Let me get outside and get some fresh air. Because why? Because I had X number of days where I couldn't experience that. Man, let me go do that thing that's been on my bucket list. Why? And you see people that have come through traumatic experiences, and it's like they're born again. They're born anew, right? And I believe that the innovation in regards to relationships that we all have a powerful opportunity to really look at again is the relationship with ourselves. See, the truth of the matter is you got to value yourself. We live in a profession. We live in a world. We operate in a profession. And look, I'm not intentionally being derogatory with the profession, but look, can we just keep it real? Look, this is Mickey After Dark, right? So we just keeping it real. I mean, at the end of the day, I love teaching. I can't see myself doing anything else beside it. But I'll tell you this: there's so many days where I feel like the Calvary's not coming. They even got the movie called what, Superman or whatever, like the movie, like Superman coming or something like that. You're waiting on Superman, I think is the name of the movie. And we find ourselves so many times waiting for that support, waiting for that validation, waiting on that, dare I say, permission. Today, I need you to give yourself permission to be purposeful. I need you to give yourself permission to be profitable. I need you to give yourself permission to persevere. I need you to give yourself permission to win today. Don't wait on anybody. Make today a Wednesday. WINS. Make tomorrow Wednesday. I don't care if it's Monday tomorrow. Make it a Wednesday. And what I'm saying is I'm on a mission right now to make sure that everybody under the sound of my voice, and even those that maybe only hear me on Airstreams, that they do a personal self-sound check. Now, Brad, look, if you know this, because you got the mic right there. I can see it.
Right on.
Before we came on, mic check, 1 2 1 2, right? Any performer, any speaker, anybody who mounts a stage knows that before the curtains open, there's a sound check. But watch this. If we have a sound and the sound is our significance, then who's checking that significance daily? Can we entrust that with an administrator? All love to the administrators, but I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't want to be one. The responsibility, They don't have enough time in the day. There's not enough hours in the day. They can't be there for every person the way they probably desire to be. So what do we do? Because the truth of the matter is, I'm a husband and I'm a dad, right? And I'm a teacher. And I figured out a long time ago, I got about 15 minutes. And after that 15 minutes pass, my life is not my own. In a good way. Because I got my wife and she may want to discuss something or talk about something, or she just may need me. Look, she just may need me to hold her or just listen to her. That's time. And then the next thing you know, my son, he may need something. My daughter's in college. She may call, Dad, I need some advice. I need this. I need some money. They need that a lot of times, right? And then you get to school and everybody needs you. And these are beautiful things. Throughout the day, it's so good to be needed and wanted and appreciated. But there comes a point, if you keep pouring and you keep pouring and you keep pouring, after a while, the cup runs empty. So what do we do? I believe it comes back to being innovative in how we operate within ourselves. Listen. There's a sound check that needs to happen every day. Every day, I make sure I do two things. I make sure I sound check, but I also make sure I brush my teeth. And I encourage everybody out there on the sound of my voice, make sure you brush your teeth too. You make and you keep better friends if you brush your teeth. I'm just saying. Now, Brad, the reason I'm saying it that way is because in my classroom, I always like to connect activities with sound, with a song, right? Because music is time travel. It can take you back to a moment. I like to connect activities to a feeling. Matter of fact, I don't even have a class. I don't teach a class. I provide an experience. So when you come to Mr. Smith's 6th grade experience or his 12th grade experience, it just happens to be music, but it's an experience. So the experience that I'm telling you today needs to be connected with something you do every day. And I hope that's brushing your teeth. So I brush my teeth every day, and immediately I do a few things. I make contact, I connect, and I communicate. So what I mean by that is I make contact. I do this every morning. And you're like, what is that, Mickey? What is that? Has nothing to do with teaching. Well, watch this. Most things that make teaching great have no thing to do with teaching. Promise you. Harvard did a study a while back where they studied how teams that gave high fives and encouraged one another early in the season had an exponential difference of success as opposed to teams that did not. Well, the truth of the matter is, as much as my wife loves me, and she may be listening right now, I know my wife loves me. I love her. With time, I've understood a few things. Number one, my wife is not a morning person. So it's highly unlikely that my wife is going to wake up at 4:30 when I get up and give me a high five. So what I have to do is sometimes I have to encourage myself. There's a book I read sometime that reminds me that there was an individual, he had to encourage himself. And sometimes it starts with this. I just one. I don't do too many because my wife's not a morning person, right? So I just give myself one. And when I do this, I look at myself in the mirror. And this is a hard thing for many people to do because sometimes we get in such a rush, we never take time to recognize ourselves. And sometimes, I'm going to be honest, I'm not here to trivialize or minimize this experience for anybody. I know for folks under the sound of my voice, it can sometimes be due to trauma and different things in your life. It can be a difficult thing to look at yourself. But I need you to understand, you are beautiful. You are so worthy. And it's not just me saying that. If you don't believe me, look in the face of that child that thinks you are the world. And you'll understand that you are somebody's world. And if you can't look at yourself in the mirror, just picture that child. And I take a look at myself and watch this. Whatever I feel I'm not, I say the opposite. So if I wake up and I'm just, man, last week's lessons bombed, I say I am a world-class educator. I am an amazing husband. I'm a phenomenal dad. I'm courageous. I'm brave. Mickey, why are you saying this? Because Celine Dion taught it to me. I took my wife to go see Celine. Tickets was expensive, but it was worth it. Celine came right up to us and she waved at my wife, and my wife was happy. It was good. But we couldn't help but wonder on that tour. It was called Courage. And I was like, man, it's such an interesting tour. We had no idea that just a few short years later, 2 years later to be exact,
Mhm.
Celine Dion would make the announcement that she had been battling a debilitating disease that has now left her to where she can't perform. And in that moment, my mind went back that what we watched in that moment was somebody defying the odds.
Oh,
And I'm telling you today, sometimes we have to speak maybe the opposite of what we're looking at. I
mm,
know what it looks like, but I need to know, what do you see? When I look in the mirror, I'm not looking, I'm seeing. And I speak what I see. Why? Because if I can do it for children, I need to be able to do it for me. If I'm going to say that, because nobody's going to tell a kid who they can't be. Even if you're looking at that kid going, my God, they can't do it. We're going to tell them, you know what? You may not. Great shoelaces, Billy. We're going to find something good to say about them. But yet when it comes to us, sometimes we sell ourselves short. So I put that connection. I make contact and I make the connection with me and I say, I am, I am, I am. And then after that, after I make the contact, and after I make the connection, I make the communication. I say those things. I say those things. And watch this. I even compose it. I'll dictate and I'll declare my day. I'll write it down. Mickey, why do you do all this?
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you can con a con, you can fool a fool, but you can't kid a kid. Sometimes the kids know our problems more than we know it ourselves. So it's so important that we position ourselves to be a sound adult before we step into that classroom, because those short 5, 10, 15 minutes you have at the start of the day, that may be the only time of the day that you get an opportunity to say and to see who you really are, to speak with a level of authority in that classroom, because at the end of the day, you are a role model. And being a role model means before you do it for them, you do it for you. Charity
Mm,
starts at home and then goes abroad. Now, I said all that to unpack this.
yeah.
In the course of a day, when I'm at my wit's end, the kids don't know it. But sometimes in the middle of fourth hour, Mr. Smith may just go, and with a single clap, it brings back to remembrance
Mm.
all the beautiful things I said about over myself and to myself. And it's a restart. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh. Yes, I am that teacher. These kids do deserve this. We deserve one another. And I'm telling you today, something as simple as that sound check, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's not just something that starts your day, but it can be something that sustains the day so that you can have not just a sound day, but a sound school year too. But the sound starts with you because the sound is in you. You are the significance.
Mickey, I would love to challenge anyone who's watching and listening to our conversation tonight just to take a pause and to reflect on the week that was, reflect on the weekend that you're experiencing, and look ahead to the week ahead for you and for the kids and for the communities you serve. And I'm wondering, this might be a fantastic time for each of us to do that sound check. What
Yeah.
what do you need to say or write into existence? What do you need to hear about yourself for yourself to lift you, to help you to be ready, to help you to face whatever setbacks are inevitable, and to learn from the week that was, and to really embrace what's coming up for you? I'm going to give folks just a quick
Yeah.
break to
Share.
think about that sound check, and I'd love for you to share your own sound check in the comments. If you were to give advice to a beloved friend, what would you say? But remember, the beloved friend is yourself. We'll be right back. Teach Better family, we are live in the Sunday weekly warm up space in our private Facebook group with the incredible, inimitable Mickey Smith Jr. Mickey, before the break, we were talking about the importance of a sound check for each and every one of us, and to give ourselves permission to be the educator we were meant to be the adult in kids' lives that we know we can be. But to do that, we check in with ourselves first, and we give ourselves permission to remind ourselves what we need to do and what we need to be, and we need to pour back into ourselves. So I'm wondering, if anyone watching or listening, I wonder what your sound check might be. Here are some from Janelle. Mindset reset.
That's good. That's
You
good.
are enough. From Bree, you can do this. It might be hard at first, but you're strong.
That's
And
good.
another guest, another watcher tonight. Don't worry, your sound is still there. And when we lose our sound, when we expend all of the energy that we can, and there doesn't seem to be a way to restore it, Mickey, yet, that might be an ideal time just to kind of pause in silence, or maybe with some of our favorite music, and to really just do that sound check and listen to ourselves and say, what do I need? What's the next important step that I can take? And I wonder, in addition to the things that you do with the, the sound check and the clap, and how do you continue to refill your cup after expending so much energy in service of others?
Absolutely. It's a couple of things. One thing is a lesson I learned from my son's fifth grade teacher. She has this saying that I just think it's the most powerful saying ever. When faced with something difficult, like fractions in fifth grade, my son got frustrated. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget that woman leaned over to my son. She said, I know things are tough, but so are you.
Mm.
And I'm like, she didn't even understand. Like, I needed to hear that day. I was like, man, forget the fractions. Like, let's go. Right. And sometimes it's those simple things. For me, it's two things. It's always asking myself, is this something that I can control?
Mm-hmm.
And is this something that matters? And just something as simple as that, especially in a classroom setting. And watch this. It's something as simple as that, especially when I'm getting ready to redirect some behavior. Maybe that's
Uh-huh.
happening in a classroom. Or maybe I'm getting ready to push that button and call the administration. I have to ask myself, is this something that I can control? And is this something that matters? And the truth of the matter is, there's some things I do in my classroom that looks like it's actually for the kids, but it's really for me. See, I love in my classroom, I have MAPs, management
Mm-hmm.
action plans. And there's a line between the management action plan for myself and the management action plan for the classroom.
Okay.
It's so intertwined. For example, in my classroom, I have what I call I am, and I have R's, ARE.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I make sure that I know what I am teaching so they know what they are supposed to be doing, right? But the R stands for the agenda, the routines, and the expectations in the class. And the expectations in particular, it sounds like rules, but it's really not. I don't really have rules in my class. I have
Mm-hmm.
GPS, guidelines, procedures, and systems, right? It just helps us go places safely. Now, I'm telling you that for this reason, because when you come into my classroom, you'll think that what I'm about to say is for the kids. The first one of my code of cooperation, which is the expectations, is follow directions. For obvious reasons, teachers, I don't
Mm-hmm.
need to unpack that. If they would just do that, our lives would be incredibly exponentially better, right? Follow directions, raise your hand to speak, stay in your seat, be prepared, respect property of others, treat others with respect. Gum, candy, food, or drinks are not allowed. We culminate that by saying, don't just talk about it. And the kids say, be about it. Because at the end of the day, we're called human beings and not human doings. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not so concerned about what you do, but I'm more concerned about what it is that you be. And these things are an outline of who you can be in this class and what this class can be for you. It's our being. Now, all that sounds great, but again, it still sounds like it's pointed toward the kids. But how many of y'all know, as teachers, we're all just humanity on display? We're a bunch of emotion wrapped up in in this skin suit, right? And
100%.
sometimes the emotion has anybody ever written up somebody and you had to go to the office and you had to explain why you wrote them up? And as you're writing it, you're like, oh my God, HR is going to call me. This is ridiculous. Like, this is what was I even thinking? Like, I went off on that. Like, and it gets you to thinking, man, why wasn't there anybody there to talk me off the cliff, the ledge? Where was my governor at? And the truth of the matter is, the expectations I just listed, they're those things that remind me, is this something I can control? And does this really matter? So if a kid cuts up and they're doing something and it doesn't fall into follow directions, raise your hand to speak, stay in your seat, be prepared, respect property of others, treat with respect, gum, candy, food, or drinks are not allowed. If it doesn't fall in that thing, then I really have no jurisdiction to
Mm.
really go nuclear on it. And that may be a battle I need to fight in private, since it kind of falls out of the parameters of what I've listed, because you're not going to go toe to toe with a kid in this day and age and win, especially when it's not in the expectations. And what I find is a lot of times we need those boundaries to experience the freedom. So just like we have agendas, routines, and expectations for our kids, my question to you today is, what routines, what agenda, what expectations do you have for you? Because when we operate in that, then just like our classroom, then we are agenda, routines, expectations, more likely to be everything we were called to be. I'm just saying, hey, it ain't about rules. It's about relevance. It's not about rules. It's about elevating in this season. It's about being the best versions of ourselves. And the crazy thing is, we got the blueprint to win in any form, in any situation. Because you show me a teacher that can run a classroom, you like the low-key CEO. You like the president. You're an incredible manager. Teachers do so much. I need you to point that energy on you sometime. I need you to turn around and point it on you. What you give to the kids, it's good enough for you too. It's like the old man he said, Hair Club for Men. I'm the president and I'm a member. Come on now. Somebody, you can be the president and the member. I'm giving you permission today.
As we take a few minutes to wrap up tonight, I want to make sure that people know how to stay in touch with you. And you are active in so many spaces inside and outside of the classroom. You're an influencer in every space that you visit, including our Sunday weekly warm-up space tonight, Mickey. What are some ways that people watching and listening can get in touch and stay in touch with you going forward?
Man, thank you so much, Brad. Now, again, it's an honor to be with you all today. And at the end of the day, life's better when we band together. So any opportunity that we have to connect is a powerful one. And I feel like in my life, generosity is not just an option, it's my privilege. So I've used my platform to go out and be the person for others that I've had in my life. I've had people that have given me direction and given me encouragement. And I find most people, they just want a little direction and some season and some encouragement. It's not about having all the answers. It's simply about answering the call. So anytime that I can answer the call, please don't hesitate. You can reach me on my website, MickeySmithJr.com. You can meet me on any social media platform under the same name, Mickey Smith Jr. And in this season, I do provide keynotes, consultations. I provide PD. If you go to my Instagram page, go ahead and follow me. Matter of fact, look, I'm going to say this today. If you love it, like it on social media and share it and retweet it and repost it. And I don't say that from a posture of celebrity or anything like that. I'm saying if it was a benefit to you, then that tells me there's 3 other people that probably need it. And at the end of the day, too, if there's anything that was of value to you today, do me a favor. Don't just keep it here. This is a great place, but generosity is our privilege too. If it's something that really blessed you, reshare it and tag me in it, because that helps me to know that I'm giving value. And it also helps me refine what I do so that I'm a good steward of people's time. If you go to my Instagram and click on the bio, I also have a course that I'm offering right now that unpacks basically everything we talked about today. It's called First Days Lasting Ways. And I'm pretty stoked about it. Look, I'm a flex, but I'm just excited. There's a guy that I absolutely adored back in the day named Harry Wong. And I took those concepts and I adjusted them for my band. And from that, I grew a system from it. And I got a call from Harry Wong. So if you buy the latest book, well, yeah, you'll see that weird guy with the jacket on there. And I'm telling you, I'm saying that for this reason. That opportunity came just a few years after I thought about stepping away from the classroom. So I don't say that to flex today. I'm saying that today I'm a living testament. If you're under the sound of my voice, I need you to keep on going, because you never know. Your next step will be your best step and your next sound will be your best sound. But only if you keep on going. We need you. We need you.
Mickey, this has been an absolute delight to reconnect with you tonight and to introduce or reintroduce you to our Teach Better family here in the Sunday Weekly Warm-Up Space. I wish you blessings, energy, love, and much success in everything that you do. And I'm really grateful that we spent this time together, and I look forward to staying in even closer touch with you going forward.
Indeed. And I as well, man. It's always a privilege. It's always a pleasure. And in this case, definitely an honor, man. Appreciate all that you do. Teach better. Keep on going.
We appreciate you, Teach Better family. We'll see you next week in this space. And don't forget, tomorrow morning and every morning, Monday to Friday, it is the Teach Better Today show live with Katie and Ray Hewitt. Look forward to staying in touch with you and have a wonderful week ahead. Thanks for joining us tonight.